What up guys, Andy back with level 1 and another review for you today. And today we have a good one, alright? Today we are reviewing the Mass Drop Control Keyboard. Okay, yes, it has fingerprints, but this is the back. Okay, don't worry. And so, as you can see, one of the things that struck me when I first took this keyboard out of the box is like the solid build quality on this thing. It is full aluminum keyboard. It's all aluminum, even on the inside, and it's heavy. It's actually a heavy keyboard. When I took it out of the box, I was like, holy crap, like this thing feels solid. It feels so good. Like I can try and bend it, right? It's not bending. It's not going anywhere. You can't, like, this is a really well built keyboard. And so yeah, mass drop control, and it's fully customizable. I've never built a keyboard before, so I've tested a bunch of keyboards. I've tested different switches, you know, tactile, clicky, linear switches. I've played on a G Pro wireless, on Apex TKL, right? I've played on so many different keyboards, but this was my first time actually building like a bare bones keyboard. So once I got the actual board, I pulled that out of the box. Obviously it's just a blank slate waiting for you. So I've got some linear switches. I got the Halo drop switches. They're linear and they're silent, very silent. If you can see here, like it probably sounds a little bit louder close to the mic, but when you're playing at night, like it doesn't make that much noise. They're actually pretty quiet. They don't have like that really like satisfying click to them, but they're great for typing, and typed quite a few papers so far reviewing this thing and did quite a bit of gaming. So the board is fully customizable, absolutely amazing. When you pull it out of the box, you get a bare board. You pick your switches, order your switches. They're really easy to install actually. You just pop them right into the socket and then just add the keycap right on. It's pretty straightforward. I will say that building a keyboard made me feel a little bit like when I built my first PC, right? You build that PC and it works and everything's great, and you kind of get the fever to want to do it again, right? So whenever you see cool PC parts and stuff online, you kind of want to buy it and build more PCs. And that is what Mass Drop did here with the drop control keyboard. All right, screw you, Mass Drop. Okay, you're getting people addicted. Okay, you know what you're doing. All right, they even sell like shelves, like cool shelves that you can put your different keyboards on and stuff. So they definitely know people get addicted to having like multiple keyboards and building keyboards and having them easy to swap out. So I did love how customizable it is, and I love that we got the Ironman edition. As you can see, these keycaps right here, they are Ironman themed, right? We have the Ironman flying right there. We've got the Marvel symbol over here. We have a Ironman face mask over here. We have his chest thingy, right? His chest piece. And so I'm gonna plug this bad boy in. I customized the lights myself as well, so I kind of did red lights underneath all the red switches, white lights under the dark colored maroon switches, and then underneath the blue chest piece for Iron Man, I have the light blue. And then over here underneath the gold mask key, I have a yellow light to make it look gold. And I really love around the base this RGB strip. I have a white light with the red just constantly rotating, and it goes all the way around the keyboard, which is cool. You can customize all the lights. You can customize the buttons. I changed my print screen and scroll lock to media keys because I like to be able to adjust the volume on the fly. We don't really use those buttons, so like, who needs them, right? I rather control my volume with one push instead of having to press FN and volume up and down. That's one pro and kind of a bit of a con though, because while it was awesome that I could adjust any key and change the functions and do everything I want through the software, and while it was great that I could change any single RGB light underneath the keyboard and do whatever I wanted with the RGB. I would say that the program, in order to change it, is not the most user friendly, right? So that's something that was cool once I figured out how to do it. But someone who's not really good with like I guess software and stuff like that might have a hard time, because you have to go to the website and then you go to like this page where it shows you the keyboard layout, and you sort of select what kind of lighting you want, you select what kind of button you want. It's great customizability, and it lets you get direct access like to everything you want on the keyboard, but it can be a little overwhelming at first when you look at it, especially since you can make so many different layers to what your buttons do, right? So I could have one layer, all my buttons do this, and then I could create a second layer and a third layer and so on and so forth, and just press certain keys to switch the layers. And I think that that's cool, and that they have a strong focus on customizability, which is really, really awesome. But I think that some people who have never sort of done these things before might be a little overwhelmed at first, right? So while it's awesome, it also can be like a bit of a con. Yeah, so the drop control keyboard also does not support 5-pin connected switches, only 3. So that's another thing. If you have like a favorite type of switch out there and you want to put them in here, you can only do 3-pin connectors, no 5-pin connectors. Also, what I really loved was the amount of options they had for switches. They had so many different switches on their website. And like I said, I picked the Halo drop switches, and I'll take one of the keycaps off. You can see they're like this sort of like a pinkish cream color, and they are more of a linear switch, and they're not very clicky, and they're very, very silent. I enjoyed the feel while typing. I would say for gaming, I would have preferred something maybe more tactile. I would probably go more tactile for gaming. So in the future, I do want to get other switches and maybe try them out in the same board and sort of see what the difference is. So yeah, I think that's really what they're going for, is a really solid build quality keyboard with as much customizability as you want. They are pricey though. They're not that cheap. This keyboard, bare bones with no switches, no nothing, is like 150. You could get, they have a more premium one that's 200. And then of course, if you want the full kit, you can get one for like 250. You could get one for 200 or 250, around that price. I will say that it's good also that if you want to start building your own keyboard, but you don't want to spend over $200 and maybe cheaper keycaps, and sort of build your own keyboard at first, like on the cheaper side, and then later on upgrade your switches, upgrade your keycaps. You can have multiple different keycaps, and that's one thing. Their website is flooded with keycaps. So our keycap set, again, is the Ironman set. They have a really, really dope Black Panther set. The Black Panther set is fire. They have a Captain America one, and they even have a Lord of the Rings crossover. They also have some keycaps out there that are like singular that you can buy, that's like a dragon. They have like Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, that you can sort of use as like an escape key or something. They have so many options, and that's what probably Drop does best, is their customizability, and that you can literally have the keyboard exactly how you want it, whatever color scheme you want to go for. You choose everything, right? Everything is up to you. It's fully customizable, and that is the best thing about this. It was good for gaming though. I would say I enjoyed gaming. It's not as responsive as a traditional gaming keyboard though, of course. There are like sub 1 millisecond keyboards out there on the gaming market for like pro gamers. The Drop keyboard is about 1 millisecond. which is fast enough for gaming. But of course, if you are, you know, Radiant ranked in Valorant, you want like the fastest keyboard on the market. You want the fastest response time. And then I would say that the aluminum feels great and it's awesome, but it does make the key, like, I guess, feel less springy when it bottoms out, right? When you're typing on it, it kind of bouncing like a traditional plastic or PVC keyboard. You get used to it after a while though. I do like, because it's all aluminum, they give you like these little keyboard feet that are magnetic, and you just kind of like stick them in the hole there. That's what she said. And then you can even put them down here and raise the bottom. I don't know why you would want to do that. I also love the shape of these keys. So the keyboard shape like is flat, obviously, right? But the keys kind of have like a curve at the bottom. Like, I don't know if you can tell on here, but like the top keys feel like they sort of curve up a little bit, and it's satisfying on your fingers. And then the bottom keys kind of curve outwards towards the bottom, like tilted slightly on the edge, so they feel nice at the bottom also, right? So when you're going up, they curve up with the fingertip, and when you're going down, they curve down with the bottom of your finger. So it feels really, really nice for typing, actually. I was a big fan of the way they curved the keycaps. I think it just gave it like a satisfying feel on the fingertips, right? Even the plastic that the Ironman like keycap set is with kind of have like a nice little texture to them also. They're not completely smooth, but they have like a little texture that also feels very satisfying to your fingertips as well. Overall, I would say that it's really nice. The only thing that I would say about the keycaps themselves is like, because they're dark colored maroon and the sort of letters are like painted on, like shift is yellow painted on, these are red. The RGB doesn't shine through the keycap as much as like other keyboards, right? And then they also have other keycaps on their website though that have like sort of clear bottoms, like pudding keycaps, and they have other keycaps that are translucent and will probably make the RGB pop more. So again, that's up to you because it's fully customizable. You can get whatever keycaps you want. This is just for the Ironman keycaps, right? The dark maroon color kind of conceals the RGB a little bit too much, but then in between, like in between these keys, it doesn't look as bad because these keys are like closer together. But when you're like down over here, you don't see the light. Like it doesn't have like that satisfying like glow that comes out through the keycap because they're a little dark colored. So again, I know we usually look at these keyboards from a gaming perspective. I did get tactile key switches. I did get the tactile switches. I used it mostly for typing. I did do some gaming, but you know, I had like a 6-page paper to write, and I felt like it was a satisfying keyboard to type on. And again, Massdrop definitely caters to some gamers with their customizability, but I don't think that Massdrop is trying to be specifically a gamer only keyboard, and I think that's important to keep in mind. They're looking at their keyboard as a sort of like enthusiast. Do you like building keyboards, and do you like customizing your own keyboards and making things cool? And then on the other side, it's like, do you want that nice setup? Like, you know, you go on Instagram or TikTok and you see these people that have like all green like frog stuff, and then it's like frog keyboard, frog mouse, frog headphones, or like pink cat stuff, right? You have a pink keyboard, you get the pink like keycaps, you could even get like a little cat keycap for the corner, and have like that perfect TikTok or Instagram keyboard and setup, right? And that's what Massdrop is kind of bringing to the table, that level of customizability. The keyboard itself is also a nice color. I am a fan of the black, and in the light it almost looks like it's not black, it looks like a gunmetal. They have a white one that kind of looks like a silverish also, and I think that these are really cool standard colors for a keyboard base. And then of course I love the USB-C on both ends. So there's a USB-C on the right side and the left side, so you can plug it in on either side to your PC. But what also is awesome is that you can use the other side as a USB pass-through to plug your phone into or whatever. Obviously your phone's not going to fast charge through there. It's not, you know, it's not that strong, but you can use it for a peripheral, charge your mouse maybe, you know. So I do love USB pass-throughs on premium keyboards. I feel like if you have a premium keyboard that is upwards of like $200, you should have some features like USB pass-through. This one again does not have like dedicated media controls, which would be nice on a keyboard that you're going to spend a lot of time typing on like I did. But fortunately, through that software, you can change the keys up and make some of your keys dedicated media keys like I did. So it wasn't that big of an issue for me, right? Because I was able to adjust it. I'm excited about possibly changing the switches to cater to more gaming. You know, I would definitely get tactile switches next time and try those out and tell you how the keyboard feels with those. That's something that we could do in the future. If you're looking for a nice solid keyboard that you can do your gaming on as well as typing on and can be customizable for both, then I suggest looking at the Drop CTRL Keyboard. If you are a person that loves aesthetics, if you love color schemes, if you love making your room and your setup just picture perfect, I would definitely look at a Drop Keyboard because they have so many different options. You just want to have a dope ass keyboard, you know what I'm saying? Look at Drop CTRL as an option. It is a little pricey, I will say that, but it does feel premium. Everything from the keys to the board itself feels absolutely premium. They also sell like USB-C coil wire connectors, so it'll last you forever. Yeah, so shout out to Drop CTRL Keyboard. I did have some learning to do while building this thing. It was my first time though, so you have to forgive me. And I was not too kind. I was like, why would they do, you know, when you start raging because you can't get something right? That was me. But eventually I got it built, you know, calm down, center myself, peaceful, and now I have a really awesome dope Ironman keyboard. And I would say that this is like a good entry-level keyboard to keyboard building because it's so easy and so straightforward, and you can get all the parts right there in one spot. And if you're not happy, you could always get different switches and change them up. And the box comes with all the tools you'll need to pull the switches out, change them in the future, keycaps, all that stuff. And I'll make a future video on how it felt gaming and typing on the tactile switches. So for those of you that wanted to know, again, Ironman keycaps, and the switches underneath are the Halo Drop linear switches. So if you're into customizability and you want to get into learning how to build your own keyboard, Drop CTRL. So shout out to Drop for sending us this awesome keyboard, and make sure you stay tuned in the future, like and subscribe. We'll have more videos for you, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season.